Kabras Sugar, the defending champions, taking on MENENGAI OILERS. In the regular season, Cabras finished top of the log, MENENGAI OILERS finished third, and they went into their semis. Here during the league phase of the matches, MENENGAI OILERS losing 2 matches, Cabras going without any loss, winning all their matches. And into the semis they went, Kabras Sugar taking out Nondis in a match that was played here in Kakamega at the Forest. And that win, 45-7, earned them a chance to defend their title and go for the 4th in a row, to just be amongst 3 other clubs that have done that before, Nondis, Impala and KCB. So the 4-peat is on for Kabras Sugar. OILERS, on the other hand, went to the den in Ruaraka and stunned KCB, blasting them 31-8 in a match that came as a shock, but yes, it was, earning them a chance to get into their second finals, the Kenya Cup finals. Since their promotion in 2018, they have made their way into the semi-finals of almost all the competitions, all the Kenya Cups. Twice they have made it to the finals. Last time they met Cabras in the finals was in 2022. Their first finals where they lost 28-34. Cabras just giving them a hiding in that finals. They have another opportunity this year, meeting the same opponents as they bid to stop Cabras from doing a 4-peat. Finals of the Enterprise Cup, in the finals of the Kenya Cup, they have an opportunity. If you look at how they got here, of course, Cabras favorites, hands down. They have not lost a Kenya Cup match for the last 3 years. Last loss coming in February 2022. They have been imperious in their matches. They are the team to beat. They are the team to watch. And win here today, and they will win Abutwali Bwesonga. And then the finishers will be Kevin Mokoyani, Destrius Ifedha, Victor Were, Wallace Onyango, Elkians Musonye, Andrew Odero, John Okoth, and Amos Bai. The defending champions, Cabras, of course, in the front row. In the picture there, as you can see, Brian Tanga also getting his award. The Cabras awards that are being handed out over to the players. In the Cabras starting lineup, in the front row, you'll have Ephraim Odur, Eugene Sifuna, and Asman Mugerwa. These are going for their 4-peat. They are the stalwarts in the engine room. And then in the second row, you'll have Hilary Odhiambo and the captain George Nyambua. Back row, coming into the starting lineup, William Mwanji from his feats with the Kenya Sevens in the circuit. Also, you will have Patrick Lumumba and Jinson Misoga at number 8. On the screen there, you can see Jone Kubu. Controlling matters from the number 9, Barry Young. And then fly half, you have an educated boot of Ntabeni Dukisa that will pose a challenge for OILERS this evening. On one wing, we'll have Griffin Chao. At the centers, we'll have Walter Okoth and Bryson Adaka. And then on the other wing, coming into the starting lineup, Brian Mutua. And then at the number 15, Eric Cantona. The finishers for Cabras will be Teddy Akala, Edward Mwaura, Emmanuel Otieno, and the returning Kenya Sevens players in Kevin Wekesa, Gabriel Adero, and also from the Sevens team, Brian Tanga, Jone Okubu, and going to the bench for this one is Alfred Orege. Big match this one, as you see them walking in, and the rain starts pouring just before kickoff. Heavy rain starts pouring in the Forest here, just changing the game plans for both teams. I guess gonna be a slippery ball. It's now turned to a full territorial fight, because whoever stays in the other's half, then we'll have the opportunities to get points. We're gonna see a lot of kicking as teams avoid playing in their own halves under this wet, slippery ball. The underfoot was quite solid and good for the first match that was played here earlier, the championship final. That was between Daystar Falcons and Masinde Muliro. Daystar Falcons, of course, blasting Masinde Muliro. Huge score there. But now it's just drizzling, it's pouring, and it's doing so in spurts. We'll just keep looking and seeing what to do. So as you get the visuals there of the lineups, Coach Gibson Weru has stuck with this team, has been around even as the team has rebuilt, losing players and getting new players. He has been in the kitchen working on this team, and this year they have really risen to the occasion. Quite a tactical team. For those who've watched them play this season, you will agree with me, they play a very well drilled game. They're also for Kabras Sugar, of course, Carlos Katua, the coach, not taking the challenge coming from Oilers lightly. Remember, both of them sponsored by the Rai family. West Kenya Sugar Limited packing it in there for Cabras, and Menengai Oilers Refineries supporting the Menengai Oilers. The Tejva and Onkarai brothers responsible for this showdown that we are seeing here today. A good game, a fantastic game. Neutrals will be bidding, of course, for the underdogs, the Oilers, but I wouldn't have them as underdogs. They have portrayed a very interesting brand of rugby, really tactical play. They'll punch above their weight today if they are to win this one against the strong Cabras outfit, serial winners. They know how to win, going 3 years unbeaten in the Kenya Cup. They have been the team to beat. Oilers will have their work cut out, but it is all to play here. Cabras going for their 4th in a row and 5th title if they are able to get it. Since earning their promotion into Kenya Cup in 2016, they have been in all finals, 10 successive finals. They have had 4 wins, so really much playing at the top of their levels in Kenyan rugby. Oilers, of course, making their Kenya Cup in 2018, and between then and now they have already appeared in 2 finals, so also something to write home about. If you look at the history of Kenya Cup, Nondi is, of course, leading with 17 titles, Impala with 10 titles. Both teams have done a 4-peat, and KCB and Queens having 8 titles each. KCB also doing a 4-peat, albeit with a season where COVID came in between, but they did 4 straight titles. And now here we do have the opportunity for history to be made. Oilers, will they get their first Kenya Cup victory, or will Cabras take their 4th in a row? Kicking us off, and we go. Ball raised high and straight into touch. First error, putting it all the way into touch and ceding territory immediately to Cabras, who have a scrum down right in the middle of the pitch. Cabras with the ball. Bariang just waiting for the ref to set it up well. You're joining me, Elijah Toili, here in commentary. I'll be your host, courtesy of Kenya Rugby Union, and the sponsors for these knockouts. Tusker coming back into rugby in style. Winners of this game, of course, walking away with 300,000 shillings. First prize money we've had in decades for the Kenya Cup. Here in this fixture, Onsomu just waiting. Penalty early days here. I have to say, throughout the season, Menengai Oilers scrum has been very dominant. Saw them in the semi-finals and the league phases. reaping points, penalties after penalties from their forwards in the set scrum. Tualib just taking the ball, and they're looking to go for territory here. A judge to be too far away for them to go for the 3 points. Good kick for touch there, places them in good stead as they just meters away from the Cabras try line. Look at that closely and you'll see the Cabras front row is hitting deck there, and they are the first to go down in a wedge there. Meanwhile, they've just lost their first line out. Cabras are able to exit, barely still in their own half. Onsomu just taking charge of that breakdown, slowing things down, getting players. Big hit, big collision there. Walter caught on the receiving end of it. Inside ball, cutout ball, underfoot slippery, slips and falls down, but they retain ball. And Wesonga just goes for a chipped ball, but kisses the whitewash. They go back for a straight out. The ball went straight into touch. First game here, just first minutes of this game. Very tentative from both sides. Punching and counter punching and just filling each other out as we wait for an explosion. Cabras losing their first line out, although retaining it after the tap back went into Eugene Sifuna's hands. Barry just calling in the troops to give him a buffer as he launches a rocket into the heavens that is well recovered by Oilers. And he takes off. Celestine Boy, strong ball carrier, gets past two defenders. Onsomu swings it out wide to the left. And a knock on there. The referee was awarding an advantage play as we watch that ball being knocked on there. Ball is a bit slippery. The underfoot is slippery, so when the ball touches the grass, of course it comes back wet enough. And it's posing a challenge in this first few minutes of this game as we see the knock-ons there. Oilers go for the tried and tested boot of Omela. And if you haven't watched him play before, Timothy Omela has got a huge boot on him. He's taking one right from inside Menengai Oilers half. And if you put it to the angle, you're looking at a kick of probably just around 55 meters or so into the 15-meter channel. But he can kick them. This is a finals. Therefore, every point counts. And Oilers are a well-drilled machine. They have a way that they play their game, but that falls short. That falls short into the hands of Mutua, who returns it with interest. Takes them back to the same spot. No, beg your pardon, it's Barry Young with a sure kick right on the halfway line. These two teams, of course, met during the league phases. Cabras having won over Oilers. Oilers have never beaten Cabras. To beat them for the first time in a finals, that will be something that they will be proud of. Referee penalizes Cabras attackers as they go off it, not supporting their body weight. Guilty there of just being too eager to recover and push the Oilers off their scrum. You can see a very strong tackle there, and they come pouring in and going straight off their feet. You have to stay on your feet as you contest in these racks, otherwise you will get penalized. Giving Oilers an easy exit from their territory and right outside, 10 meters away from Cabras try line. Oilers winning the first few minutes of territory battles here. And that sack has happened on that, but it was late and the ref plays advantage. The sack is allowed as long as it is immediate after the ball, the jumper comes down and hits deck and the team starts shoving. But once they have shoved for a few meters, you're not allowed to sack, to pull them down. Cabras a bit late in that and they get penalized. Will they go for points? Will they go for line out and try to go for the 5? Oilers in the right territory right now, place that they will want to be. They have discussed this, of course, in preparations for this match, what they will do when they get into these spaces, they get in this territory. And I think they have elected to go for the line out. They have a very mobile pack of forwards, the Oilers. Ball thrown to the middle of the line out. It is successful, it is well done. A Cabras player is at the bottom of that, but he peels off and gets up. Referee calls it once for Samson Onsomu to use it, but it looks like this will be a put-in. Ball is unplayable. The ref has no sight of that ball. As long as the ref has no sight of that ball, as the maul goes down, you will lose the chance to use it and you'll hand it over to your opponents, and that's what happened here. Cabras just making a mess of Oilers' maul and reaping the rewards, getting a put-in, an opportunity to exit from their red zone. Just 5 meters from their trial, and they need this one to be very clean, well executed. Considering that the ball is wet, has to be a very carefully weighted pass. Walter Cole just lining himself up there as the first receiver. I'm sure that's a carry that but he's also adept with both feet. He's able to put it as far as possible. Yeah, the referee penalizes Vincent Muhali for angling in, illegal scrummaging, and then he went off it. Dukisa wearing the number 10 shirt today for this big one. A lot of discussions around the Kenya Sevens players, of course, who are in the Cabras bench, except for Mwanji, who got picked to start. Cabras looking to close strongly this match with their experienced players. You look at their bench, they are not short of match winners. But there was also an argument for those who watched the Enterprise semi-finals between Cabras and KCB. They looked more fluid, they had more chemistry than in their win in the league phase against KCB. Is it down to the fact that most of the team that was chosen has trained together for the longest? And Carlos has decided to go with them in this particular Kenya Cup final. Very exuberant fun there. And they're in their plenty here, they're in their hundreds, just coming in and never having lost to Oilers. The fans do not countenance the fact that they can lose to Oilers, especially when they are going for a record-breaking forfeit. Second line out lost by Cabras. Really, they have to polish their set pieces, they have to polish their lineouts. The Oilers will identify that as a weakness early enough and contest all Cabras lineouts. Omela with a big boot, but it goes nowhere. Puts them right back into pressure here. In fact, it's an advantage play by the referee because the players who went and defended, approached that ball, were offside from the kicker. So Cabras now turning up the screw. Dukisa with a step in, step out of loads. Strong carry there by Sifuna. Danger times, but the ball hits deck. Just slips through the hands of the Cabras player. And it brings the fans to their feet here. Fans are have been spoiled 3 seasons, unbeaten at home and away in the Kenya Cup. They expect to win every match. Today is not any different. The Cabras fans, as you look at that pass, they just hit Nyambua in the chest and went to deck. And they elect to use their penalty and go for points. Dukisa with a sure boot. His kicking percentages are high, one of the best in the league. Only rivaled probably by Omela. Puts it, sails it right over the posts, and Cabras put 3 down. 3 up into their scores. It's taken all of 12 minutes for the first 3-pointer, for the first points of this match. Calming the nerves of the fans, the Cabras fans here in the forest. The Kenya Cup finals for the season of 2024-2025. Cabras, of course, the defending champions, the favorites. But Oilers will have something to say about that. We have more than enough time to have that decided. Raises it off the base of that rack. Oilers allow it to land, and it's repossessed. Good play by Cabras, repossessing their kick and gaining territory. Bariang to Dukisa, who sees space there for Mutua. If he can get to it, he gets to it, but looks like a forward pass. Game plays on. Good jackal there, but finally the ref calls it to a halt. Looked suspiciously forward from Mutua to supporting player Walter. And once again, another error from that wing. Handling errors, just curtailing Cabras' opportunity to just attack, varying their gameplay here, varying their attacking, keeping the defense honest, coming in short, bringing in the defenders, then going for a cross kick for the winger. That will always make the defenders work hard, engage their minds, and not sit pretty. See the hundreds of fans here. Fans have traveled right from Nairobi, from all over the country to watch this one. Very stable scrum there from Oilers. Referee says use it. They go for a grabber kick. Oilers are very notorious for that, and they execute it well. The ball is loose. But the ref calls it back for a high tackle. Ref calls it back for a high tackle. Cabras look like they were in danger there. Barry Young just at the receiving end of that tackle. Referee says play on. Game plays on, even though he's being attended to. Nowadays, World Rugby just keen about having more play time and less of stoppage time within the game. And the referee has been charged with ensuring that the game is faster and more minutes of game are played. Barry Young recovers and is back as Cabras look to steady their line out, first line out that they have done successfully and cleanly, but seems like referee is playing advantage for something here that emanated from the Oilers illegally going through the mole before the player, the jumper, hit deck. So you cannot go round, or you cannot go through the line out until the ball carrier, the jumper, has his feet on deck. That's what has cost Oilers in that mole. two successful penalties and kick to touch, and Cabras just 10 meters away, I mean less than, even 7 meters away, and they lose that line out. Very interesting. Cabras really need to work on this set piece if they are to use it, and it's a very important set piece. Gives the teams an opportunity to attack, but they have done well to ensure that that ball does not leave the mole. And of course, the referee being unsighted, the ball is unplayable, rewards the ball to the defending team. Cabras regather that ball after losing it in the line out. Of course, coaches have different ways that they set up their teams depending on where they are on the pitch and what they intend to do. Fortunaturo, they are going to the number 8, going to the back of that scrum as Samuel Were moves to the open side. Set piece move here by Dukisa, hunted and brought down by Daniel Kipchirchir. Bariang just taking his time there, swings it out, slowly building here, but a rushed tackle on the Cabras player. Dukisa with a pump and then decides to grab a kick it, knowing fully well that they have the advantage. Referee is very keen today. Calls it for hands in the rack, and Dukisa, of course, electing through Nyambua to just go for that 3 points. This is championship game. This is a finals game. Just slowly but surely ensure that the scoreboards keep sticking, and before you know it, you'll have created a buffer between yourself and your opponent that will force them to come out of their closet, and when that game opens up, errors are bound to happen as the team chases down the game. That ball skews to the right. Different kicking technique used here by Dukisa, but the ball just swerves to the right. There is no wind. It was all about the technique there. And the Oilers quickly restart. Pin Bariang, always on the receiving end of these ones. And Oilers player in deep trouble there as the game plays on. Looks to be really in pain. But Cabras recover and they're able to slowly work their way out of their 22. Kicks it straight down the rib cage of Omela, and he decides to counter-attack. Big mistake as they get arrested in their half. I think they're just checking out and seeing if they have an opportunity to attack. The ball now comes back. Fend and a handoff and a strong carry there. Samuel Omvuamu takes out 3 Cabras defenders. Short pass there. Good play by the forwards as they do their interface play with the backs. They have numbers out to burn, but Cabras are quick to shut down. And Somu with a Damian checks through the gap, opens up the Cabras defense, steps back in. Now in their 22. Warning signs here for Cabras. Moura just shifts the ball out wide. Oilers playing with a lot of intent here. And Somu takes it back to the short side, an attempted grabber. The ref calls them back for the penalty. Oilers just turning up the heat there. They do it so perfectly well. They just slow down the game, then in bursts, they play in bursts. They accelerate and they just go, as you see there. Big collision with Bariang, but Bariang just stood back and slowed down on Omvuamu. Then you can see the interplay there between the forwards. Three-pointer opportunity here by Omela, and he puts it over. We are tied at 22 minutes, 3-all. We have a final. We do have a final. Oilers hit back. And their traveling fans have been really loud here. At moments, you wouldn't know who is the away team, who is the home team. Doing quite well to ensure that they keep their fans hopeful. As you look at the fans there, some actually never really watch the game. They are into the Isukuti drums that reverberate around here, and they will dance to those tunes the whole game. Just tuning in occasionally to see what the scores are. Cabras able to retain the ball. Dukisa just identifying the space out wide, but the execution of the pass wasn't good. That rack will be contested. They do well to retain it. Sifuna with a carry there. Oilers just checking out the numbers out to the right, and Dukisa goes for an aerial bomb. Good mark there. Twalib sure under the ball, even as it came down from way up with ice all over it.
Let's go.
As we speak, of course, the rain has subsided. It's no longer really there. And as players run all over the pitch, just the moist, they're able to absorb that, and the ball becomes drier and drier with every phase of play. That's why we're seeing the attempts to play the ball out wide. Both flyers just impressed. I'm impressed with the way they try to mix and vary their attacks. As Nyambua has a strong carry there. You see them going for grabber kicks with this. You see them chipping. Griffin Chao, strong ball carrier, very fast. Gets through the first man, but the ball just squeaks out of that rack. The referee penalizes them for using hands in that rack. It was really fast and quick phase of play, and the referee is having none of it. That's the third time that Oilers players are going for the jackal, but quite late and using their hands. I think the referee is just trying to have a word with them. The next offense might probably result in a yellow card. Nyambua just having a discussion with the referee, probably just asking for more sanction. More sanction for some offense that the referee was unsighted, but they still have the penalty in their favor. As you look at that missed pass, Omela just committed to Clint Cantona, and then after that Griffin Chao just trying to get to the end, but the scramble defense from Oilers gets to him. Shaky start for Cabras lineouts, but this one is good and solid, and they are off rambling, going all the way. Will they be stopped? No. Nyambua at the end of it, and they score. First try in the finals. The captain George Nyambua dots down a 5-pointer. Cabras hit the front 8-3. There was literally no stopping that maul. The moment he hit deck, it was like a sprint to the try line. Oilers not keen, Oilers not savvy to just stop that one. You see how fast it moves. They are not able to just go to the back of that maul, and by the time Kambua puts it down, there's literally no Oilers player to stop him. Strike rate that is very good. Third visit into Oilers 22, and they have 2 scores and 2 additional points from Dukisa to add to that, taking the scores to 10-3. Cabras just being very clinical, being very efficient with ball in hand. having a very high strike rate, not leaving any points on the board when they come into Oilers 22. Oilers will have to check it out and see how they can counter this. Raise it high. Ball is loose. Oilers are in Cabras 22. Cabras, of course, very experienced outfit. Most of these players have been there in their 3 previous wins of the Kenya Cup. And some will want to sign off with a 4th consecutive Kenya Cup title. Most of these players well into their 30s, but they have been monumental in getting Cabras on the rugby map. Timothy Omela had better have his boots on just to keep in touch with Cabras on the scoreboard. He is able. We've seen him kick for Kenya Simbas. We've seen him kick for Oilers throughout the season. He's able to put Oilers within touching distance of Cabras. Ball sails into the skies, and an extra 3 points, 10-6. That's what Oilers need to do. Just keep the scoreboard ticking. Any penalties they get in Cabras half, this gentleman is able to punish Cabras. He has a sure foot on him. And even though Cabras might put a try here and there, if they keep ticking them over every time they're in their half, then the match will remain close. Good contest and recovered there by Cabras. Really good at restarts. Strong carry by Sifuna, bumps off the Oilers and makes the fans here just cheer. Offside by Oilers. The referee penalizes them. Oilers really indisciplined, you know. Oilers very indisciplined in their 22. Dukisa just looks to go for the line out, but the technical bench calls it for the points. It overrules him. Nyambua is there just recognizing that we have to put a distance between ourselves and the Oilers. So look at there, Carlos Katwa just observing the proceedings from vantage point together with the Super MC Walter Orangi, the sighting official for the finals. Again skews it to the right. Again, you look at it from a mental perspective. Does Dukisa know something? And that's why he elects to go for the line out. Has he lost confidence, or is the weather affecting his kicking? Because on those 2 kicks he had opted for the line out, but he was overruled. They might do well to listen to him, but that's an opportunity gone. Oilers survive another onslaught from Cabras. Dukisa just doing a small chip up and under and causing trouble for Oilers. But Litwalib and Omela just do well to ensure that they are able to get out of there. Griffin Chao, strong ball carrier, very fast, takes the route 1. Puts Cabras right back into Oilers territory. But that strong carry spills the ball in that contact, because the crowd rises, the Cabras fans rise to applauding for that strong carry, but at the end of it all, spills the ball and turns over possession to Oilers when Oilers were just on the ropes. See Chow now running there, gets mowed down by Fortunaturo, and then Sifuna goes, bumps off the Oilers defender, but loses the ball. Oilers pinned down in their half, actually just outside their 22 for the last 10 minutes or so. They are lucky to just be trailing by 4 points only. Twalib raises it high, chest down by the hint of knock on there. That pass is loose and they may be punished. It's a helter-skelter now. Off to the races here, both the defender, and he kicks it out. That will result in a 5-meter. It will result in a 5-meter scrum, I think. Really, he had no choice. They were bearing down on him. The ball that arose from a loose pass, and he's just being consoled there by Walter, understanding that Bryson Adaka had no options there. If he had picked it, probably he would have missed it. Look at that pass, just goes to deck, and then it's all hell breaks loose from that point. And Daka just could feel the hand of the defender on his hip, and he knew that Samuel Omvwamu will mow him down. Good prime territory for Oilers here. They have a very strong scrum. Will they push over? They pick and go. Really prime territory here. First time that they're having such a big opportunity to score. Mtsomo puts it in. Try putting the referee's hand goes up. Indeed, danger times here for Cabras. Omela bounces off his defenders. He's carried up and held up by Griffin Chow, but they were playing advantage. Ref calls them back to mark. Cabras strong on defense there. Even as Oilers had a free shot there from that scrum down. You can see Omela just being upended there, being held up. Strong hands of Walter Okoth and Griffin Chow. They elect to go for the points. Good thinking. Keep the scoreboard ticking. Keep in touch with your opponents. If this sails over, it will be 10-9. Both teams have their way to work on how to win this match, and I can assure you Oilers will keep the 3-pointers going for the whole game. They are capable of doing that. They have won matches 24 points through the boots. And Cabras better be wary of Oilers. They scheme, they get into your territory, they ensure they get out with something. They are very patient, and they have a kicker in Omela. Back to a restart. Dukitsa with the ball in hand. And we go all over again. This time it's short to the 10 and well recovered, and they are off right into Oilers 22. Oilers Cabras actually just perfected the art of retention. Sifuna with a strong carry all the way to the 5-meter. Bariang with a quick ball. Double pump there from Dukisa. Steps back in by Cantona and he scores. Quick fire try by Cabras. Kickoff, ball retained. Two strong carries. Double pump from Dukisa. Miss loop pass to Cantona and they score. All within a minute. Seconds actually of the restart. Really, really impressive play by Cabras here. Just look at how they worked the numbers, and he stepped back in. Small body frame, but the right technique, the identifying where the space is. Cabras hit the front, add an extra 5. The Oilers might just be feeling deflated. Immediately after putting the score difference to just 1 point, Cabras hit back immediately. The 5-point second try of the game. Ndukisa lines it up right at the touch line. He has the ability to convert these ones. Puts it through, it sails over. Yes, it goes through. Again showing why he's a classy player. One of the best right foots in the game in Kenya today. Converts right from the touchline. 17 to the good for Cabras. Look at that. Omela overshoots, leaves 3 players out, and then the defense overshoots again. And Cantona had just to step back in and dive over. Cabras meaning business here. Oilers with that high restart, and he's held up high. Will he survive that? I don't think he will. Referee says use it once. Ball doesn't come out. Cabras, third or fourth time now, just holding up the ball carrier from Oilers. They have perfected that skill, and they are using it to good use, to good effect here. Cabras just resetting here. Lining up and just keeping the defenders guessing. As you see those Sikuti fans with the Sikuti just going round the pitch. They do it the whole game. I think they go around the pitch like 5 times or 6 times in a half, and just get updates from other fans on what the score is. Turnover there from that scrum, and Oilers have the opportunity to have a say, to hit back here. Maura just steps back in, goes to deck, and that rack is contested. First man in has the rights to contest. Jackals properly. The ref penalizes Maura for holding on. Always run a danger if your supporting players are not quick enough to that rack. The defending man, the first man in, has all the rights to go straight for the ball. And as you can see there, that ball was being held on deck by Maura. Back into Oilers half. Oilers lose that one. Good defense there by Cabras. Mwanji with a loose chicken wing pass. The ref says it goes behind and they play on. Walter just peels the ball as it got the attentions of the Oilers defenders. I wonder what words were exchanged there as the Oilers player hit deck from that tackle. Time has really flown by here. Look at it, and we are just bang in the middle, at the end of the first half. When referee's time here, you wouldn't have noticed, but Cabras doing a good job in this first half just to put some daylight between themselves and Oilers. Another loose ball. Lineout's very tricky in this weather. Ball just bounces off both players, and there's emotions running high here. And these Kenya Cup finals come Rai Derby. Remember, both teams sponsored by the Rai family through different franchises. Responsible for some of the best rugby we've watched over the last decade or so. Cabras really just putting their name, the pedigree that they have built over the 10 years they have been in the Kenya Cup, being in every finals. That is outstanding. That's an astonishing feat. But in between, they have faced Impala once, they have faced Oilers, this is the second time, and their nemesis KCB a number of times in those 10 finals. As looks like a high tackle and a very dangerous one. he'll be lucky to escape a yellow card. That was really, really reckless.
You want me to turn the penalty around?
Kambua, the captain.
I'm going to turn the penalty around. Please hold that 10, captain. Thank you.
Referee has just, I will say, has judged everything almost to near perfection. You wouldn't even notice his presence, and that is a mark of a good referee. When you have little to speak about the decisions and more about the game. The stands that are here are full to the brim. No one is sitting down. Everyone is up on their feet. The whole season coming down to this one match. Opportunity for history for both sides. Oilers to take their first Kenya Cup win. Cabras to do a fourth consecutive title to the chagrin of KCB supporters, Mondi's supporters, the Palace supporters, the other illustrious clubs that have done that. They are going about it well, playing in the right territory and ensuring that their visits bear fruits every time they're in Oilers 22. Walter, of course, with a strong carry there, cuts back in, gains some 10 meters, Barry with a quick ball off the rack. Strong carry there, going strong. Cabras just moving, making meters, but they lose that one. It's hacked to the backyard of Cabras. They have to regroup and start from there. A shimmy and a good step there, but gets his shot tagged. Chow now offloads out wide to Cantona, who does a chip and recovers it. Yes, puts another boot to it, but Mvuamu comes to the rescue of Oilers. Good thinking there by Cantona. Man who uses his brains very well. He has serious rugby brains. And there we go. Referee blows for the halftime. Cabras have had a good start, a strong start. Oilers have tried to keep in check. 2 tries, well worked by Cabras. Oilers with their 3-pointers trying to keep in touch. All to play for in the second half as Cabras lead into the break. We'll see you in the second half. at the Forest, home ground to Cabras RFC, defending their title, going for the 4th consecutive title. And they are playing against MENENGAI OILERS, their brothers in the Rai family. Second time they are meeting in a finals. Second attempt for MENENGAI OILERS to lift for the first time the Kenya Cup. History at stake here. 4-peat, 4 consecutive ones for Cabras, or the first title for MENENGAI OILERS. Second half about to begin. Cabras leading 17-9. They were very clinical in the first half. Just a few visits into Oilers territory. They got 2 tries, one from the captain, George Nyambua, off a very rampant maul. And a second one from Eric Cantona after a good kickoff and recovery and scoring of a try within seconds. And off we go for the second half. Same script all over again. Cabras very good at restarts, retaining possession in the kickoffs, something that Oilers have not yet worked on. Still leaking in that phase of play. Cabras, Bukisa taking it and stepping back in, and it opens up for him. Missed tackles there. Oilers do well to scramble. It just looks like a tip tackle there, but survives it. Referee doesn't make much out of it. Bariang at the base there, just controlling issues, taking it slowly, waiting for an opportunity, and strong carry in goes with the ball there. Now goes for a cross kick, a box kick. Cantona at the end of it misses it, but it's a knock on. Just looking at this as it unfolds, you can now see what the script is for Cabras. Drag the Oilers defense to one side, keep them short peeling around the racks, and then just positioning their wingers for a cross kick. It's happened for the umpteenth time now. They are still, at the end of it all, they have the ball, because it was a pressure kick knocked on by Oilers, and they are pinned down in their 22.
Let's go, coach!
A game about territory, really. And Cabras have just perfected the art of pinning opponents down. Oilers play using the same template, but nothing working for them today.
Advantage, you've got advantage, Lord.
Changing fortunes here for Cabras. Chip and chase by Walter. Will he score? No. Too much into it. Goes all the way into the dead ball area, and they still had an advantage from the scrum. Bryson just following, and you can see communicating with Walter there. The execution of that chip and chase wasn't spot on, saying he just put too much into it. And this is what we talk about, variety in attack. As a defender, it's a nightmare not knowing what to expect. Said changing fortunes because Oilers have been very dominant in the scrums, but in that one they got pushed back and penalized for it. They're also poor in just handling the rolling maul of Cabras, and in this case they have been penalized again, collapsing the maul. Really tough times, tough start for them in the second half. Bukisa goes for the up and under, but no one really at the end of it. Penalty number 3. Just beginning of this second half.
What's the decision?
Oilers need to turn over one of these set pieces and get out of here if they are to remain in this match. If they are to concede now, it will become a mountain, a real mountain to climb, given that they have not shown any momentum in terms of scoring a try. Maybe too much for the boot of Omela to put them back into the game.
Options number 4.
And as I say so,
Line out of
they
scrum.
contest this one and reap rewards for it. They have to exit
Ball
here
not straight.
and ensure that they can pile pressure on Cabras in their territory. They are lucky to have Samson Nsomu, number 9. He's a wily campaigner. He's evergreen. He has seen it all. Played in the finals against Cabras last time and also while at Impala back in 2016. So he knows the pressure, he knows what to expect in such matches. Cabras scrum just pushing and shoving hard, strong enough to cause chaos in the ranks of the Oilers. And the referee rewards them. Drizzling again, the underfoot is quite wet. But the players would have expected. The forecast was already there. It could be a wet one. And if the technical bench worked on it, then they are able to sustain and get rewards for this one. Walter Okoff goes over. Short, hard angle. Too quick. Well executed. Slices through the Oilers defense. Was even touched. He came in on a hard angle, courtesy of that strong scrum. And oh my, Nsomu just, that was a mismatch. That was a mismatch. Where were the backs? Where were the back rows? Where was the flyer? That channel was wide open. But he came in off as the first man onto the ball. It didn't go to the flyer, it went straight to Walter and he identified that gap. 5 meters out, you're not stopping him. Cabras tightening the screws into this game. 22-9. Sails over the posts and they stretch their lead to 24-9. This early in the second half. It's gonna be a tall order for Oilers. They have to give their fans something to cheer about because they are being put through the ringer here. Alarm bells all over for the Oilers technical bench. They have to see how they will get out and out of this.
For the ball.
Good retention of the kickoff there by Cabras. They want to set up a proper exit play here. Sifuna with a strong carry. Secured and Bariang now with options. Raises one and as we watch there, John Okoth back from just easing back into rugby, easing back into top flight rugby after the leg break he had. Is onto the pitch wearing number 22, giving him time early enough to see if he can make some changes, and if there's anyone who can do that, of course it's John Okoth, weighing over 100 kilos and motoring on that wing. I would like to see him against Griffin Chow. I would like to see him taking on Brian Mutua. He is a strong ball carrier, very fast. And it's nice to have him back. Scrum time and Oilers with a quick ball off. And immediately Okoth gets well retained there by Oilers and just looking to see if they can do some faces and pull in the Cabras defense. Going for the chip and chase behind there, just getting benefit of it. It rolls into touch. They have territory. no ball, but yeah, something to work with in terms of territory. Look at that hard line that he came through. I mean, Samuel Omwam was left gasping, you know,
10, please.
and Onsomu didn't see that coming.
10.
Really well executed move.
Play on.
Strong carry there by the captain, and he bursts through the Oilers defense, taking down 4. So men, they need a quick ball here, but it is slow, so they have to kick and chase it. Box kick that doesn't go too far. These are where you get penalties for not retreating. So the ref identified a knock-on from the Oilers players. Cabras just going through it meticulously, building their play predictably but with efficiency and effectiveness, not letting in Oilers. It's down to the simple basics. Understand the game plan, execute it, and it works for you. At times you have the game plan well thought out, but if the execution is poor, there is no coming back from that. Again, just turning around the defense there and missing the tackle, and Twalib now has got options here, and he kicks back into the backyard of Cabras, and Mutua with problems here to deal with. Did he slap that ball into the dead ball area? If he did, it could be a penalty and a yellow card. Quite lucky there is no television match official here, but I think I spotted a slap on that ball. You're not allowed to slap the ball into touch onto the dead ball area. As you see that break from Twalib, chips it over, and it's a foot race there. Stundend. It was actually both a kick and a slap, and Cabra survived that, but they have work to do here in the 5 yard. You can see him punting. He was put to defensive test there, and has just survived it. If Oilers are to come back into this game, they have to take advantage of this opportunity. They have to score from this one. Elkins Musonye, another one who has seen it all, been in the pressure, been in big games, comes in at number 8. They will look into the experience to see if he can carry them over. He's a strong ball carrier. He has been at the back of these scrums for the longest time. Loose ball, opportunity lost, and it's all chaos here. There seems to have been an advantage being played. Yes, indeed, there was infringement at the scrum down. Oilers have to score from these 12 minutes into the second half. 24-9. They need at least 2 scored tries and converted. If they have to have a shout, they have to have any hope at winning this game. Last time, of course, when they met, Cabras made light work of Oilers in that finals in 2022 that was played at the Bull Ring. Cabras emerged winners 34-28. At one point, they were leading by a huge margin, but they eased off the pedal just to give Oilers an opportunity to make that score respectable. But today, that gap looks big, and Oilers have all to work for. During the league phase, of course, they met in Oilers' backyard. That match was a tight one of the few that Cabras didn't collect a bonus point. The match ended 2014. Sifuna seems to be in pain here. Eugene Sifuna, his ribcage seems to have been rattled. Seems to be holding it. I hope he's fine. And he goes out having done enough. Of course, they have Teddy Akala on the bench to come in and replace him. but he must have, that scrum must have cost him, must have been at the wrong end of some twists and turns there. We wish him well.
Let's go.
Take 2 for Oilers in this scrum. They have an opportunity here. They have to score. I think that they have to get off this area with some points. They are to stand a chance, and they lose defensive structure there. Walter comes to the rescue for Cabras, but Oilers will now build it up slowly.
They have an advantage.
Build it up slowly. Cabras players at risk of no arms tackle, just diving onto their opponent's feet. Referee calls them no advantage, takes them back there. The Oilers, if I were them, I will just go back for the same scrum down. At some point,
Where the ball is.
Cabras players will risk getting a yellow for repeated infringements at this scrum in the red zone. So they should just keep at it until something gives.
Where do you want it? Come here,
Teddy Akal, of course, in now at the front row. Will it have an impact on how they set for this scrum?
Strike the ball, eh?
We'll see, but in the last 2 scrums, Oilers have been steady and have shoved and have caused problems to Cabras, resulting in penalties.
I believe I've penalized it.
The front row of Victor Were, Celestine Boy and Vincent Mukali. This is where they earn their pay. This is the time that you showcase what you have worked on as a pack. Very steady there, not making any impression on the Cabras scrum. Strong carry there by Samuel Mvuamu as they go in. Cabras ready for them. Walter with a big tackle there on Gabriel Adero, and they still go at it, ramming their way into Cabras defense, and the referee tells them to release as his knees hit the deck. Sonye with a carry there, barely gets through the defense, and a quick pick and go. That ball is being contested, but good retention there by Oilers. Being patient, and this is the way to go. They should just be careful not to seal, not to go off it.
Use the ball.
It's almost a discussion, and they're discussing how to set up a maul. Have they succeeded? I think they have. But Cabras just smother it. It's fourth consecutive penalty against Cabras in the red zone. They are flirting with danger here. The referee has held back on issuing a card the whole game. And finally, the battle of wits, the mental battle. I think Cabras have won it. Oilers decide to take the 3 points and regroup. Either way, they had to get out with points from this area. If they had lost this chance, then you will think they will lose all the momentum. Timothy Omelo with a successful 3-pointer, taking the scores to 24-12. Still 2 scores are needed for them to come back into this match. A feature of this game is Cabras restarts. I think they have recovered 9 out of 10. They have worked on it, and they have been good in recovery of the balls. As you hear the shouts and the cheers from the fans here, the fabled bomb squad all over the world rugby have come in. 4 players coming in. Brian Tanga coming in to replace Barry Young at fly. Brad Mutua going out. In comes, we'll check and see, I think Alfred Orege. Also in the forwards, Emmanuel Otieno coming in. Cabras just trying to ensure that they smother and suffocate Oilers. Orege with his first contribution of the match, tapping the ball back. Ted Akala goes through.
Stay onside. Lose 9.
Tanga just back from Kenya 7's duties in the finals, famous finals in the Singapore, favorite of where we've had good outcomes as Kenya 7's. Straight into the 15th mode of play.
Who's it?
Taking his time to study and get his rhythm into this game. Knocked on. Alfred Orege was looking and raring to go, but just knocks it on. Let's just look at the pass. Was it sympathetic enough? It was good enough. It wasn't rocketing into him, so that he should have just held. I think he was just eager to take off. His fan favorite yet, the Forest. He has very strong carries, hitting and ramming and charging through defenders.
Square up, please. Thank you.
He always brings the crowd to its feet anytime he carries the ball.
Right. Set.
An input there by Oilers and Odero. That they get penalized
I want
immediately.
you to strike the ball, not striking the ball.
Referee calls Vincent
I
Mukhali
want you to strike the ball,
as
not
the
striking
offender
the
in
ball.
that scrum. He has been very consistent.
No, hold back. Hold
He's been
back.
very consistent in his calls. And as you try check and see what happened there. Yeah, it was all about the hooking. It was all about the hooking. Meanwhile, Cabras just getting into Oilers 22, but they knock it on. Was it a forward pass?
Onside.
Advantage to Oilers, and they have to exit here with the rain coming down now,
Advantage is over.
increasing in drops, increasing quite by the minute. Getting heavier by the minute. Oilers now have to really play in Cabras 22. They can't hope to pass the ball out from this area.
Yeah, who else?
That ball is too slippery, it's too wet.
Cabras.
The underfoot is also not favorable right now for running rugby. They have to kick it. Something that they are very good at.
Time back on.
They have in Samuel Mwaura people who can actually work and create space and create territory for them.
No hands. No hands.
Kubu also has come into the fray with a heavily strapped right knee.
Advantage.
The referee plays advantage for a knock-on by Cabras in that tackle. Cabras playing in the wrong place really, and that's a better option. But the chase has to be spot on. They have given Cantona all the time to return that ball to the sender here, and you can see Cantona's kick was better. Although the chase was good, they missed those tackles. Now this is a try line. This is the try line. He goes all the way. Oilers hit back. Oilers hit back. Oilers just getting the better. That missed tackle. Cantona with a good up and under, but the missed tackle released Alitwali and goes through the hand. Crispin Shitundo offloads to his fellow center Samuel Mvuamu, who hands off the attentions of Brian Tanga and scores. This now becomes interesting. If Timothy Omele is able to convert that one, it will become an interesting match. That was really all that was needed from Oilers. They had to come back into this match. Those were two missed tackles, very costly from Cabras, and they have been punished by Oilers. Omela with what looks to be a successful kick. It goes over. And things are getting spicy here now. Oilers just giving themselves an opportunity to come back into these finals. Still enough time. As you see that Crispin Shitundo just 2v1 offloads, and Tanga had a lot of work to do there on the big man who goes over Samuel Uvuamu. He's really worked hard and has brought their fans back into this one, given them hope. Double knock on there from both sides. First knock on, of course, by Oilers. Referee stops it, no advantage. Cabras now look to work on how they can build up the lead again. 24-19, just one try separates the two teams. Oilers just working slowly but surely to get back into this match. You don't see them coming. You just realize they're on your back. And when they're ahead, you don't see them going. You just look at the scoreboard and they are gone. Oilers have a knack of just sneaking through you. Orege with a strong carry brings the crowd to its feet here, and they look to just go out wide, playing some moves. A big tackle on Cantona there. Samuel Mauran having his man there, but there was a call, an advantage by the referee, and immediately Dukisa points to the posts. They want to maintain that 7-point buffer just in case things go and get tested in the last 10 minutes. Orege there just going through the first man and then going to deck. High tackle there from Musonye. Elkins Musonye being penalized for that. Moura coming in strong and hard on Cantona, who looks at him bemused. There's a Cabras player getting treatment there as Dukisa attempts to go for an extra 3 points. Approaches and hits it and looks like it drifts wide. No, it goes through. Cabras have another 3 points. Gives them a breathing space, taking the scores to 27-19. And yes, Oilers need to score twice once more. Punch and counter punch from both teams. We still have enough time to settle this. It's not yet over, not by any stretch for the Oilers. Good carry there, hits deck. Tanga just looks for Dukisa to get them out of their area. He's been doing this well for Cabras the whole season. Hasn't played as many games as he would have wanted. Started playing in probably last rounds of the Kenya Cup regular fixtures. But hasn't he come good for Cabras? Lost the line out, and they give Cabras the opportunity to just apply pressure on them. Referee plays advantage for not rolling away by the tackler, and this ball is a problematic one, and it's knocked on, I think, by both sets of players. Cabras doing the right things, just ensuring they pile pressure by territory, and also looking for errors in Oilers' backyard. Such a loose ball can easily be pounced on, and you find yourself 5 points down. Kevin Wekesa also showing up there, seen on the screen. Another of the Kenya Sevens contingent in Cabras that have been utilized in the second half of this match. Roughly around 13 minutes to go. Carlos Katwa there. Walter Orangi, the sighting official himself, on duty. in this very final game of a very long season, 2024-2025 Kenya Cup season, that has seen Cabras just cementing their place into the record books, unbeaten in 3 seasons. They have gone about this season being very clinical, not the fancy play we are used to seeing, but delivering in every match. They had the meanest defense at the end of the league phase of this Kenya Cup. They didn't attack as much as they would have wished or wanted. That honors went to KCB, scoring the most points, having them as favorites, but they came unstuck against OILERS, who are working quietly in the background, biding their time and getting themselves into the finals. Putting a good show here. It's not yet over. They are to just have another 3-pointer. The tension levels will rise here. If they are to score a try, then it will be nervous moments for the Cabras fans. So still much to play for, still all to play for. As you see the referee reading the riot act. I wonder after all this, there is no card. There is no card. So we get to restart in OILERS 22. Cabras ball. Cantona lining himself up on the shorter side of the pitch to the right of the scrum, Cabras scrum. He has such a deft step. If put into space, one-on-one, there will be a problem for the defender. OILERS doing a number on Cabras scrum, making it a mess, giving pressure to the front row for Cabras that they popped out before the ball could be released from that scrum. The ref called it. And now Ali Twalib just gives them an opportunity in Cabras half.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. No, this is the middle.
For OILERS to attack. No panic buttons yet for OILERS, just going through it slowly, going through the paces. That ball just loose from that line out, and it's turned over. Is it? I think it is, yes. Wekesa just rips it off the OILERS player before he hits deck. Wekesa decides to carry that one. Goes right at the center of OILERS defense. And they have another boot in Kubu, who just takes them back into their 22, into OILERS 22, and dummies and goes. Some Omvuamu has been a thorn in the flesh of Cabras defenders this evening. That ball is loose, wet and loose, and the carry is just chaotic all over. Moura steps 1, steps 2, but gets arrested and the ball is turned over. Now Cabras go to the left, numbers to the left there. Cantona is manhandled, placed on the deck, does well to retain that ball, and now proceeding slow down a bit. Huge collisions there. OILERS just coming under pressure here. Orege chases that one, and Ali Twalib steps in. These are danger signs. This is what happened last time. Ali Twalib puts the ball over the defense. That's a good return for them. It's a good return for them. Cabras not being able to get the best out of that exchange. Lost territory. And just less than 10 minutes to go. Whoever scores next really will determine the outcome of this match. As of now, it's not yet fully determined. Mwanji with a strong carry. He's always a hard runner. That's how he has fashioned his play. Very risky ball, very risky game there by Chow. Throws the ball back into play as he heads out. That can bring problems if it goes to the right hands. Man has been taken in air as he was going for the ball by Cabras players. The referee still has his cards in the pocket.
You can go if you want to.
Amos Obai just feeling the landing heavily. He was taken out while in the air. He was not allowed to play. Any ball carrier, as long as their feet are in the air. What a kick, what a kick. Very nice kick. Immediate pressure for Cabras here. 10 meters out, line out. We haven't seen yet Oilers maul properly. This is an opportunity for them to maul this one. If they can be successful.
On the line.
With the underfoot just being this wet. They might have a good shove here. This is a crucial time for Oilers, really crucial time for Oilers. But they decide to run it out.
Use it!
Then they have to be patient with this one. They have called for a maul. But Cabras saw that and put him down on deck.
18, use it!
They will still go for a maul.
Stay on your feet, support players, stay on your feet!
Now, warning bells here. Just 5 meters out. They have a lot of work to do here. They have set it up for a maul now. But the man is lifted high, but they keep going, they keep driving.
Ball is available, here is the ball.
Hits deck.
Stay on speed.
Alitwali says no, take it to the right.
Bandage.
And Rodero is just about to bring it to his side, but they knock it on, they make a mess of it, and comes to a halt.
No, we're going on, we're not stopping, let's go. Stand up, please. No, there's nothing wrong with him. Let's go.
Well
let's go.
to frustrate
Guys, come, let's go. There's a mark.
This was the turning point in the match. If they were able to score here,
let's go.
Then you will think that the last few minutes with Omela and his boots would have been very tricky for Cabras.
Is the sub in? Okay. All right, thank you. Oh, Cabras, let's go.
Exits from the center.
Oh, find everyone.
Dan is beat, came in on a hard line, scored the second try for Cabras.
Must clearly hook the ball.
The third try for Cabras, sorry. Now as it is, the finishers have to do their job.
Put in the ball, 9.
Tanga with
Nine, put in the ball.
Last time that scrum did not survive.
Ball is out.
And is being hustled and harassed there by Andrew Dero. Oilers doing good job of that scrum, hustling everyone from Tanga to Dukisa, and they repossess that ball, giving themselves another shot, another opportunity. But time is running out for them. Time is running out for them. They have to score twice. They have to give the referee a hurry up here if they're to make any headways. Crispin Shitundo and Samuel Omvom just switching positions there, and you know something is cooking. Shitundo with a strong carry there, but he's isolated. That ball will be turned over. Very lucky to retain it. That was a lot of hard work.
Get out!
Cabras defending ferociously there and succeeding to get the ref's favor.
He did not. Ask. He clearly knocked the ball on when he was picking it up.
There was a knock-on at the base of that track.
Ask him.
But the Oilers players
Please, let's just keep the discipline. I can see what is
the referee
happening.
to check it out. There was no knock-on. They have claiming they have scored a try. Doesn't come out clearly in the replay, but the referee signals a knock-on. Cabras ball.
Let's go, coach!
Third straight scrum
Point!
for Cabras where they're under pressure. They have to hold on to this one if they're to exit. Oilers with a big shove. Oilers with a big shove and get a penalty.
On the 5, no!
And they quick tap and they go for the try and this referee calls them back.
I told you in the pre-match you must take the ball at 8 feet. Yeah.
Oilers
There's the
giving
mark.
themselves every chance and every opportunity.
No, there's the mark.
Cabras though very stoic in defense.
Askis?
Not ceding ground.
What you want a scrum? Or scrum?
have to say
They want a
that's the
scrum.
bench.
Scrum.
Cabras
Here is the mark. Let's take it here.
Those who've come in have lowered the levels. They have gotten sharp ever since they made the changes. They are losing the scrum battles, but is it too late in the day for Oilers? They might just get something here. The crowd is silent, pensive, tense moments here. We don't know how much of the time is left in the referee's watch, but seems like with the last one, Elken Musonyi with a strong carry and he goes over and he scores right at the center. It was coming, it was always coming. The pressure was a lot, the pressure was too much. With the changes in the scrum, it was bound to happen. Serial campaigner Elken Musonyi dots down for a 5-pointer, bringing the scores to 27-24 with a conversion to come. It was always coming. Oilers were just too supreme this second half, especially after the changes in the scrum. And just a couple of missed tackles there.
3 minutes.
Musonyi puts it in.
There is it.
Conversion is successful. Scores now go to 27-26. It's a one match. It's a 1-point match.
Let's go.
Just 1 point between them as Dukisa raises that ball to the skies.
From
Oilers have to get themselves back into Cabras territory if they have to have any hope with the time on the clock being against them. Quick ball, steps back in and gets stopped there by Oregi. Mvuamu has really been good for Oilers this evening.
use it.
Oilers have to work all the 70 meters if they are to score, if they are to get anything. They can't afford to kick this one. But that pass is wild right into their try box. How do they exit from here? Yeah, left with no choice. He had to kick it. Going to referee's time here, really. Any moment from now, the game will be over. And Cabras just hanging on. 27-26. Hanging on. Opportunity to be in the history books for both teams here. Ball lost by Cabras, albeit they're in their 22, in Oilers 22. They have to work their way into Cabras half. Box kick there that goes into touch. It was in their 22, so they are aching their way. Still not yet into Cabras half. They have to turn over this ball. They have to turn over this ball. Successful line out there this time round from Cabras, and Mwanji carrying it into the heart of Oilers defense there. Now they are taking their time. Someone will fancy a drop kick here. No, Dukis has come into the base, so they'll keep building and playing just slowly, setting the platform.
No.
Ball is lost. Ball is lost there. It is loose and lost. Knocked on by Oilers, but the referee looks at his watch. Still some few seconds or so to play. These are pressure moments for both teams.
Let's go.
Really pressure
Last
moments.
round.
1 point separates them. The referee's whistle.
Captain,
Oh,
last
that
day.
can settle it.
Let's go. In. Hook the ball. Let's go.
These have
Coach.
been a good final.
Point.
Oilers just building and sneaking their way right into the conversation about being winners for this Kenya Cup. And
Hooked it.
my oh my, if they are to get any points here,
Advantage.
it will be a nightmare. Penalty for Oilers. That's what they were looking for. I think they'll still go for territory, get themselves into, yes, you see actually with the ball, you know, they're going for territory. And from there they'll be able to just play around and see if Cabras can just give them a penalty. If they concede a penalty in their half, for sure Omela will punish them.
Keep it
This is
open.
their game plan. This is what Oilers have been working on. Very crucial line out. They have to retain
10
this
meters. 10 meters.
They have to retain this line out and then work it slowly, go through the faces. Not straight, but was there a contest?
No, we can't
Was
end.
there a
We can't end on an error.
Because the rules are
Can't end.
clear.
The game can't end on an error.
And that's
It's
immediately
clearly
what the
on
players
outside.
around the referee to ask him.
The outside
Did
shoulder, we
Cabras
still
also
blow
put
it.
somebody in the
Even if
air to
the
contest?
since the ball is here, we still blow it. Options. Line out or
That is
scrum.
an interesting interpretation
Line out.
of that law.
You want the line out? Yes.
If
Time
there
is
is no
over.
contest,
Line out. Line out is the call. Line out.
players are the throw shouldn't necessarily be straight, but we'll
Keep it
defer that
open.
to the interpretation and the interpreters of the law, the rugby laws, and Cabras survive it. Cabras, referee blows the final whistle. Cabras now emerge the four-pit. They have won it 4 times in a row. They join the illustrious clubs Nondi, Impala and KCB in doing
Thank you,
four-pit. They
The
have
law-
won
the
it
law is
4
clear,
times
my
in a row. This is what they
In
are
the
waiting
front
for.
ball, in the back ball, if you're throwing in front or you're
Win
throwing
it.
over the 15, or
Won
if
it
you're
by
throwing in
1
the middle,
point.
if there's
And
nothing
all the
here,
supporters
we still blow it.
onto the pitch,
Even if there's no contest, you understand. But well done.
celebrating
I
with
thought
their
you guys
players
played very well.
who
Well
have
done.
brought them
Well done,
pride,
captain.
who have brought them glory, who have brought
Well
them
done, guys. You played very
an
well.
opportunity
Well
to
done.
be in the history books. Kabras
I hope so.
Sugar,
I hope so. I hope so. Well done,
draining
guys.
the oil
done.
from Menengai, just ensuring that they
Yeah.
run away with the trophy.
Well done. Good job.
Really played it well,
Thank you, guys.
really
Thank you very much.
went ahead, never looked back, and they maintained the lead all the way to the end. It's been a grueling season for both teams. A lot of travel, a lot of games played, but at the end of it all, Cabras emerge winners, remaining unbeaten for the 3 seasons. They are surely a team to behold. Even as we watch them just celebrating, we'd like to thank you all for joining in. We'd like to thank all the fans who have kept in touch with the rugby throughout the season. As we look at the scenes there, rewards for supporting their team. We want to thank our sponsors Tusker, who've come through in a big way.
They won't do it.
And we want to thank you too for supporting rugby. We will catch up later even as the awards ceremony goes on. It's been a good one. You've been with me, Elijah Toili. We look forward to the next season and we wish you all well.
The last 15 minutes.
Mbona kina Sila kama ndio wanaingia ndio OILERS yao. So we get them. You see the way we do during the minute. We now seclude. There are match officials wamefika. So I needed the names. Naomba. The name of match officials. Match officials and the names of match officials.
Nyawa.
Nipatie tu sasa. Naongea. Unanisikia? Makena. Msaidie jina ya center left. So, let's start off with the match officials. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time now for your attention. Yes, match officials. No, I have. Sawa. Hapa juu hapa sini sote.
actually lift the Kenya Cup. The other being Nakuru. And so you can see why it means a lot to the local population, why it means a lot to the local fans here. And for them to go ahead and dominate rugby, being in all the finals since they came into Kenya Cup, then that is something big. So we look at that. Match referee receiving his award there for match well officiated. He has done a good job. Center match referee, he has done a good job. Also the assistant referee Kyoko there, just getting his medal for officiating, assisting the match officiating of this Kenya Cup final of the 2024-2025 season. Match officials actually just stayed out of it completely. And to think that the match was very tight at 27-26, you can only say kudos to them. The other center referee, Brian Kyoko, also receiving his medal, his shield for officiating in this match. Remember, he's also handled very many big games, and we are not short of very promising, very well-resourced, well-trained referees. The managers managing the referees, Biswa himself there, Collins, receiving his shield for managing the touchline, the officiating matches, match officials. So the refereeing team, the officiating team has done really well today, and because of them we've had a very nice, very entertaining finals. It's one of the medic teams that have been handling medic queries and medic treatment of all the players for both sides, coordinating the issues around the health care of the rugby players during these finals. As the center referee for the championship rugby match that was played before the Kenya Cup match between Masinde Muliro University and Daystar Falcons. Together with the assistant referees for the same match, just receiving their shield. Recognition of the hard work that they put in and what goes into it.
And he will be awarding our top prize, ladies and gentlemen. Put hands together. From Cabras.
The shield that is being showed there is to be awarded to the Kenya Cup top try scorer, Griffin Chao, jersey number 11. Fast winger, very pacey winger. He mixes it up, he takes it straight. He can evade you and he can sidestep. A revelation from the Cabras Sugar. Griffin Chao leading in the try scorer charts. Receiving on his behalf is the chairman of Cabras Sugar.
Shopper Manager, Tusker Group.
Top point scorer during the Kenya Cup season, Timothy Omela, receive his shield from the sponsors of the finals, Tusker. Timothy Omela was sure with the boot throughout the season. Receives his shield from Mildred Minor from Tusker. Timothy Omela, bright future ahead. Top point scorer, runner up. He was sure with his boot, he really put in a lot of points, winning some games by his boot. Player of the final, award to be given by the Kenya Rugby Union CEO Thomas Ondudo, goes to Patrick Lumumba. Patrick Lumumba, back row for Cabras FC, did all the hard work behind the scenes. Scramble defense, top carries, and to receive on his behalf is the chairman of Kabras Sugar. So the individual medals to be given to runners-up of the championship, Masinde Muliro losing heavily to Daystar Falcons. They will receive their medals from Leslie Njenga, Kenya Rugby Union Director in charge of fixtures, Leslie Njenga. Not to worry for Masinde Muliro, they got promoted by the virtue of two teams getting promoted from the championships to the Kenya Cup. They get themselves into the Kenya Cup and now will have to prepare for the next season when they play amongst the big boys once more. They are not strangers to it. They have been there and gotten relegated. After 2 years out, they make their way back in despite losing today's final.
Honorable Secretary Kenya Rugby, Ray Amadalali, join Director Les to award the win.
Daystar Falcons receiving their winners medal for the championship from the Secretary of the Kenya Rugby Union, Ray Olendo. They have worked hard. First time they're in the finals, first time they get promoted to the Kenya Cup, and they have had the full support of the institution of Daystar University, really promoted and helped them to honor their matches, their fixtures all around the country, traveling, playing hard, putting their hands up and getting the reward. Their very best, of course, Patrick Odongo, just currently been called for the premier of the Indian Sevens Premier League, the Premier Sevens tournament, the inaugural version. What a good export from Daystar University. You can understand their excitement. They look forward with a lot of hope. The intention, of course, is to participate and remain in the Kenya Cup. That is the biggest achievement you can have as a promoted team. And if you remember, Nondescript just got promoted, and in the season after their promotion, they went all the way to the semi-finals of the Kenya Cup. So who knows what Daystar Falcons can achieve in their first year ever in the Kenya Cup 2025-2026 season. Proudly showing their trophy there. Reward for the 2 years that they have missed out. 2 years that they have gone through pain, losing in the semi-finals, and finally now getting the opportunity to lift the trophy. It sends them right into the Kenya Cup. It's been years of hard work, going through all the ladders of the rugby, and there they go, promoted to the Kenya Cup, winners of the championship.
Their banner signaling the end of a campaign, culminating with the trophy going home to America. Ladies and gentlemen, Daystar Falcons.
Congratulations to Daystar, and I will wish them all the best in their debut in the Kenya Cup. Remember, OILERS went the same route, and they have never been relegated. They have stayed since 2018. They have been to 2 finals. They have competed well, and therefore there is all to look forward to for the teams that get promoted every year. If you have your structures right, if you have the right support, if you retain your talent.
Kevin goes in favor of Masina Moliro. He'll be receiving all the medals in favor of the boys. And of course, the signal that they have graduated into a Kenya Cup team for next season.
Masina Moliro receiving all their medals for the runners-up of the championship. They also march into Kenya Cup. They have been there before. They know their way around the fixtures. They know their way around the Kenya Cup landscape, and they know what they need to do this time round to remain in Kenya Cup.
Partnership
receive the runners-up medals. MENENGAI OILERS receiving it from Tusker, our sponsors for the finals, for the knockout of the Kenya Cup. Tusker just going through, must be painful for them, losing by just 1 point. They had it within their grasp. They worked hard, they came from behind and just lost it by 1 point. This time round they came closer than 2022 when they first appeared in the Kenya Cup finals, meeting same Cabras, losing then 34-28. But they, as they say, one day they might have their cake. They have to keep going at it. They have to keep remaining in the discussions for the finals. They have to appear in these finals, and one day they will be able to reap the rewards. It might be painful for them now, but of course there's always the winners and the losers. And this time around they kept mightily close to winning it. Ran out of time, but they have the runners-up medals as a building block. They try and take 2025-2026 Kenya Cup season, make a run for it again. They walk away, of course, with Kenya shillings 200,000 as runners-up. It's been a while, it's been decades since Kenya Cup winners and knockout participants have been awarded, and this is courtesy of our sponsors, Tusker, the rugby. Yeah, muted celebrations, but you will learn to celebrate runners-up. It's no mean feat. It is no mean feat. It takes a lot of hard work. You're basically 1 point away from being called a winner, from being called the champions. That is no mean feat. Though the disappointment is showing, but you will learn to celebrate your wins, and this is also a win for them.
Thank you so much, MENENGAI OILERS. All right, now time for the cup winners.
Finally, we turn our eyes with the main winners, the winners of Kenya Cup 2024-2025, the hosts, the unbeaten, 3 years in a row unbeaten, 4 years in a row Kenya Cup champions.
Cup winners are like to us. Together.
Kabras Sugar.
Together, PT from Tusker Sports. Ray Orlando, Board Secretary, Kenya Rugby. And Jacqueline Masicha, CECN Sports, Kakamega County. Forming a tunnel in favor of KABRAS Sugar, ladies and gentlemen, are the losing side, MENENGAI OILERS, showing respect to the champions. Time now for the champions, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for KABRAS Sugar, RFC. KABRAS Sugar! Kakamega! Ladies and gentlemen, this is a repeat of last year. The defending champions
Kabras Sugar receiving their winners' trophies
another victory, but nonetheless,
from our sponsors Tusker, from the Ray Olendo also representing the Kenya Rugby Union, the secretary, Honorable Secretary, finally getting themselves into the elite 4-pit winners, and deservedly so. Moments to savor, things that they will retain, memories that they will have this day, being part of this special team. Those are moments that live with you for years. Those are stories that you will tell for years, and the glory that comes with being part of the squad that achieved that. Indeed, it's something that they will not forget.
So much work behind the scenes going into getting this team ready. And we'd like to thank the Right family for coming out and
Of course, you ask yourself, what next for Cabras Sugar? They have to chase down 5 in a row. 5 in a row done by Nondis of the years gone by. So records are there to be broken, records are there to be chased down, and Cabras Sugar are very much capable of achieving that. But that gap, that margin has been narrowed down, going even by this season the way that they played. Yes, they won all their matches, but not in the fashion they have been doing when they did their 3 in a row. And the final, this has been yet one of the closest in a while by a single point. So yes, they have to start afresh next year, chase down their 5th in a row. Of course, other clubs will have something to say about that. The technical bench, see there of Max Adaka, head coach Carlos Katwa. All these have spent hours and hours preparing this team for this historical achievement, and they deserve the 300,000 Kenya shillings that goes to the Kenya Cup winner. Congratulations to the Kenya Cup 2024-2025 winners, Cabras Sugar. Nyambua Ray Olendo just handing over the trophy to the Cabras Sugar players. That was Teddy Akala just standing in for Ambua to collect that trophy, to collect that winner's trophy. And this one they will cherish. This is a special one. Yes, the other 3 that they won were special, but this one puts them right in an elite club. And so this one is really special for the Cabras Sugar players. Sikuti still being hard, still being whipped, still being thrashed around the stadium, around the forest. Well done to Cabras. They move on to another year and start all over again. So once again, we thank you even as we prepare to exit here from the forest. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for walking the talk and being part of the rugby fraternity and supporting your team, regardless of which team you supported. Rugby is the winner. As you see records being set, We start all over again next year, 2025-2026. And we thank you all for joining. We thank our sponsors, Tusker, thank the Kenya Rugby Union for organizing the tournament and bringing in rugby right down to the grassroots here. I have been your host, Elijah Toili. I wish you all the best till we meet in the new season.